What's up guys, Hotshotfrontier back at it again with another video, and in this video guys we're doing a Yu-Gi-Oh meta tier list post CYBERSTORM access. So you guys already know that CYBERSTORM access has been legal for about a week now, and I wanted to kind of show you guys where I think everything should go per the tier list. Starting off with, of course, we have Meta Definer. This is where this is the deck where everyone is preparing their main deck, their side deck for it. It is a really good deck. Moving on, we have best decks. It's not meta defining, but it's still a top tier deck and people should really watch out for it. Really good is that it's a solid deck. You know, don't get me wrong. It just doesn't hold up to the best decks and the meta definer decks, but it has its plays and it could beat them in certain situations. Next, we have high potential decks that aren't really shining right now, but with upcoming sets coming out, they will really shine and show that they are meta-defining decks too. And then finally guys, we have Not Today's Sun. Unfortunately, this deck is just not it for the format, but you know, these decks could be underrated, and if you definitely underestimate them, they will get you. But let's go ahead and start off with the first deck. And of course guys, we have Super Heavy Samurais. They are meta-defining. The fact that Konami has brought them back into the meta and they're like a top tier deck, it's amazing. I love to see older archetypes like that get newer support and get revived in the meta. But you guys already know this deck right here is amazing because they have the FTK, they have a lot of hand loops, they summon out cards like Jinzo, Verone, like a lot of cards. I can't even name all of them. But next up we have Tri Brigade. Unfortunately, Tri Brigade is Not Today's Sun. If we're talking about pure Tri Brigade, Not Today's Sun. If it's like Tri Brigade Scareclaw, I would put it like high potential, but Tri Brigade itself, Not Today's Sun. Unfortunately, it's just a little too slow right now. Again, if you get interrupted in terms of your combo lines, this deck is it's not going to do it for you, unfortunately, right now. Next, we have Manadome, I believe. I actually want to put this best decks, but I'm actually going to say really good. Reason being is that I've seen a lot of builds where if you get interrupted once to twice, you can't really recover from there, and that's basically it. But this deck is really good. Reason being, you can summon cards like Verone, and that's a really good card in the format right now as well. Moving on, we have Branded Despia. Best decks, 100%. I want to put meta defining, but I think give it a few more weeks, we'll see more Branded wins, tops. But yeah, Branded is a really good deck right now, and the reason being is that it got amazing support from CYBERSTORM access in terms of a lot of cards, and we're gonna see this deck shine, especially per the ban list. If the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare does not get banned, yeah, this deck is going meta defining 100%. But moving on, we have Satellar Knights, and I'm actually gonna put high potential. Reason being is that after CYBERSTORM access, this deck can actually summon its most powerful monster, which enables a turn skip. That's what the card says in the effect. It's actually cracked. I can't believe it. But also, this new main core set has turned this deck into a combo deck, bridging a lot of the difficulties with the deck, which is crazy. But yeah, has a lot of high potential, I think, and yeah, we'll definitely sell out more of it. But moving on, we have Plunder Patrol, and Plunder Patrol is actually really good if you think about it, because it can play a lot of hand traps, and not only that, it can run the Adventure Engine, and that's really good in terms of negation, especially for this format. Moving on, we have Heroes, we have Darklaw, right? And I'm actually going to put this as high potential. Heroes are a really good archetype, especially when they can summon monsters like Darklaw easily. And if you're playing multiple Darklaws in your extra deck, you can go ahead and basically try to get out of if someone trying to destroy your Darklaw, go into another one, which is really good, and still have that Macrocosmos on field effect. And especially since they got more support from Maze of Memories, the deck is just going to continually get better when Konami is pumping out that legacy support. You guys already know. But next up we have Marine Cess, and I'm going to put this Not Today's Sun. Reason being is that Marine Cess is a good deck, don't get me wrong, but it has issues when it gets interrupted and it can't recover. And decks that kind of happens to, it's unfortunate, but they need like another engine or more support to help like stop that, right? Or something like a Verone early to prevent stuff like that. But moving on guys, we have Cyber's deck in general. and I actually think this is really good. Reason being is this card can summon out Nightmare Ibali really well, better than other decks right now. And that's really good right now, especially if the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare gets banned. This will be the only form of stopping your opponent from doing things. So I think that's actually really strong right now. Moving on, we have the other Cybers deck that's even stronger. We have Math Mechs, guys. Absolutely crazy. This deck not only can play a lot of hand traps, but it can interrupt your opponent. It got some new support cards from CYBERSTORM Access that just make this deck like absolutely cracked. It has really powerful trap cards as well, and can dodge a lot of effects. But moving on, we have the Exo Sisters. Unfortunately, I want to put this high as well, but I'm actually going to put it in high potential. I think this deck can get a lot better. The problem with this deck is that, again, if the lines get interrupted, you're not doing much, but you're playing D-Shifter, and D-Shifter is really strong right now. So I would not go ahead and underestimate that. Moving on, guys, we have Trap Tricks, and Trap Tricks are actually really good. Now, if this was a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, I would say that it's probably the best deck. But unfortunately, right now, like trap-based decks aren't the best right now. People are playing the outs to them, and again, if you're going second, you have a very huge disadvantage. But moving on, we have Pearly. I'm actually going to say Pearly, maybe a hot take, is a best deck, because based off the support they got from CYBERSTORM Access, you guys are going to see it's a really, really good deck. You guys are probably already seeing right now. But moving on, we have Punk. This would be like Punk Gold Pride, and I would actually go ahead and say that it is a top deck right now. It has a really good form of like OTKing your opponent. It plays a lot of great cards that can dodge effects, and I think the two archetypes work really well together. We'll see as time tells, of course, but don't get me wrong, a lot of decks have issues, but I think combined with the two engines, this deck is a really, really good deck right now. Moving on, we have Dark Law. I want to say Dark Law is actually high potential. Reason being is that for the next set that's coming out, I believe it's Duelist Nexus, they're getting a broken spell card that's really good for their archetype, and I think that's going to propel the deck a lot further than it is right now. Next, we have Labyrinth. Just like Trap Trick, it has the same problem going second, but it does play a lot of cards like Lava Golem, which is really good. I just think that Trap Trick they're both at the same level right now in terms of playability in the format. But don't get me wrong, if you guys feel like it's different, let me know down below. Next, we have Naturia. This is actually Naturia Runic. So I would actually put this as one of the best decks right now. Combining both the Naturia cards to stop your opponent from using spell cards, summoning out Naturia Beast, and then using the Runic cards to interrupt your opponent or even try to deck them out is just really strong right now. Now, depending if the ban list hits and really interrupts the Runic engine, then this deck might fall a little lower, but right now it is a solid deck to play. Next, we have Scareclaw, and I actually would say Scareclaw by itself is really good. Combined with the Tri-Brigade cards, it would probably be really good as well. I think that just summoning out this huge boss monster and having your multiple effects from your effect monsters in the main monster zone is really, really strong. Plus, this card, I think a lot of people really underestimate this card and what it can really do. A lot of people are splashing this individual Link 3 monster in their deck as well. So I think given time, we'll see a lot more from Scareclaw. But moving on, we have Dragon Link. Dragon Link actually is one of the best decks. Like, if you really think about it, with the new support they've gotten with the Apple Dragon and just a lot of the Synchro Monster based support from CYBERSTORM Access, it has really made this deck a really good deck. I think give it some time, we'll see a lot more of the combos, but Dragon Link has always been one of those like combo-based decks where you need to interrupt them a lot to really stop them, and that's really strong right now, to be honest with you. And moving on, we have Sword Soul. Sword Soul, I would actually put as really good right now. It has gotten a lot more hype recently. It has actually gotten more support from CYBERSTORM Access as well. And it can play that Ice Jade Synchro Monster. I believe it's the level 10. So I wouldn't count the Sword Soul out, to be honest with you. It's a really good deck. Moving on, we have Splite, or Sprite, how do you guys want to say it? I want to say it's meta defining. I will actually say, you know what? I'll say it's meta defining. Reason being, mixed with the runic cards, or be honest with you, the thing is like Sprite is a deck where you can play multiple engines and it's still a really good deck. You can run Melfeast with it, you can run Runic, which is really strong with it. There are a lot of cards that you can play in this deck that can really kind of have your opponent guessing what type of engine you're running. You know, because if you're just running like Runic, then they're like, okay, we know you're running Runic. If you're, you know, if you're like, for example, if you're running Heroes, they just know you're running Heroes, right? There's no other engine with it. But with Sprite, there are multiple engines, so you don't know, they don't know like which one you're on, which is really important, kind of confuses your opponent. Runic by itself, guys, I would actually say that it is really good. Reason being is that, you know, we've seen a lot of pure Runic decks just deck out the opponent, do exactly what they wanted to do. And again, until a ban list, things go down, but this is really, really good right now. Almost done, guys. We had Kashtira. It's definitely a meta definer, that is no question. The deck has not been hit yet. The fact that you can just lock out your opponent's zones is broken. I think they will hit this deck on the ban list, not directly, but indirectly, hurting other decks as well, but we'll see what happens. If you guys have not seen my ban list prediction, definitely go ahead and check that out. I have a link down in my description. But finally, guys, we're going on to Dinos. Dinos has high potential, just like Dark World. I think just with more support, they're getting more support in the side set. We'll see a lot more of them, and hopefully they take Miscellaneous Source off of the ban list, at least bring it to 2. We will be doing a lot better. Finally, guys, we're going on to Floowandereeze, and guys, that is a best deck, no doubt. Reason being is, even though they've gotten hit with the Barrier Statue ban, the deck is still really good with a lot of amazing cards. And you guys already know, like, if you verse this deck, it's still a really good deck. That's why people are really thinking that they might hit Pot of Prosperity. Probably one of the reasons, but I don't think they will. But guys, yeah, that's it. That's where I think these decks should fall. If you agree, definitely let me know down below. But guys, remember, if you like this video, make sure to give it a huge like. Comment down below, do you agree with our picks? Did I miss anything? What do you guys think? And finally, guys, if you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you're updated the moment I upload new videos. But guys, that's it for me. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace.